And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes, and I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the market and the implications from the packs from the last couple of weeks. Well, a couple of days, I should say. So anyways, if you're new to the channel, man, hit the subscribe button, please. And if you're not, or if you are, man, like and comment down below what you think of the 12 days of giving so far, because in my opinion, it kind of sucks. Like, I thought there was going to be more giving. There's not really a whole lot of giving here. So maybe 2K changes that this week, but so far just the one free login pack is not exactly the extravaganza that I had anticipated it to be. So not really too many new challenges. We got our dailies. There's 3 dailies. Look, we got 25 days left in the season, which this season was a bit longer than last season, it feels like anyway, but I also feel like there's just been so much content this season, so it's made us feel a lot longer. This is probably the easiest reward card to get as far as the amount of content and the amount of XP that's available. So I think everyone has a pretty good shot of getting Dwayne Wade, which is pretty good. He's going to be one of the best point guards in the entire game when he comes out, so you got 25 more days to grind, so hopefully you're at least in the 20s somewhere at this point. We got new packs today. Jason Williams, Gordon Hayward, Chandler Parsons, Bull. If you watched my pack opening video earlier, you know that I had a really rough time with them. So let's talk about the market. So first things first, the Flash guys. The reason I'm going to bring these up is because their price is kind of fluctuating. So Tim Duncan, this is probably the last opportunity to get over 80k for a Tim Duncan. To be completely honest with you, just because of the amount of, we're starting to get our first opals, there's going to be pink diamonds in every set. They're actually putting in a lot of, big men this season. So I think if you do have Tim Duncan and you're not using him, this would be the last time to get 80k for him. Rudy Gobert is kind of the opposite of it. If you have Rudy Gobert and you don't use him, now would be a great time to sell him to at least get like 70 or above K. Because you got to remember, in about 3 weeks he'll be back in super packs and his price will plummet once again because he'll be easier to draw than a lot of cards. So let's talk about these guys. If you have any of these guys, it's kind of a crapshoot of what you should do with them. You could wait till the day Wilt is out, when people are going to be kind of thirsty and go out and spend a little bit more than they normally would on these cards. That is a potential to happen. Or you could go with the guaranteed MT. It really just depends on kind of what you need. Like if you're sitting with 7k MT and you're not having any more on MT for the rest of the season, I'm not going to judge you if you want to get that 100k. I predict Dirk at some point will be buy it now, especially when those super packs come out. I think a few of these guys will end up being buy it nows then. So you don't want to wait too long to sell these guys if you do have them. Like I said, I think Dirk's going to be buy it now. I think Devin Booker could easily be buy it now, and I think Jason Williams at some point will absolutely be buy it now, which is interesting because he's actually one of the best point guards in this game. He's actually really good. As far as like a pure point guard and a shooter, he's just like a better version of Steve Nash that we got earlier, if you remember how that card operated. And that's pretty much what you're getting with Jason Williams, and his nickname is White Chocolate, which is sick. So other than that, man, I mean, we got some pretty good cards today. Like Gordon Hayward will be a pretty decent small forward shooting guard option. Like, he's not going to be crazy, but you can put a bunch of defensive badges with him, and he's got good size, and he shoots really well. But he's definitely not worth this price, so if you end up drawing him, I would recommend selling him for 80 plus K right now, and then just picking him back up later if you really want him to do challenges and stuff like that. Just because you can sell him for that price and probably pick him up around, I don't know, 50, 60K. If not, like, tomorrow, later on in the week, or even when the next pack comes out and people are ripping those to get those, they'll put them back up for a lot cheaper. Like, as you can see, pretty much every card that was expensive when it was first out, the next week it's right back in packs again, so it goes down in price. Bam Adebayo is a lot cheaper. You can get him around 50, 60K, and I would say he's probably the best big man option for around that price, if it wasn't for another guy I'll talk about later. Eddie Jones, one of the most hyped cards all year, to be completely honest with you, is now below 100K, so I mean, these season of giving guys, if you just wait another like a week and then come back when they're in the packs for a second time, you can pretty much come up pretty hard on these cards, man. Eddie Jones is not a terrible idea. Obviously, I'm not going to recommend you go buy a diamond for 90k, but like if you need a really good shooting guard, he's good. John Starks is a little bit different. If you need a defensive-minded point guard that can also shoot the three at a high clip, like John Starks is really good, especially for like 25 to 30k. I still personally would rather use like De'Aaron Fox, who I'll talk about in a second, but John Starks is really solid for that price point too. Not a terrible idea to like tactically downgrade too. If you're running one of the more expensive point guards, downgrade down to one of those guys, get yourself 70, 80k MT profit. Chandler Parsons is decent. I mean, I can't really recommend him. There's just a bunch of guys that do exactly what Chandler Parsons does, but either A, at a higher clip, or B, at a cheaper price. So I don't really recommend him, and I think now would be a great time to sell him if you did draw him, because I don't think his price is ever going to be this high. He'll be down at like 4 or 5k next week. He'll be down at 4 or 5k on like Tuesday, or Wednesday, to be completely honest with you. De'Aaron Fox, recommend picking up De'Aaron Fox right now. He's going at the low point around 12 to 15k, and I think his price goes down a little bit over the course of the next like 48 hours. But once it hits Tuesday and he's not in packs anymore, his price will go up. Del Curry's really decent. If you're looking for a budget sniper at the shooting guard position, you can get him for about 4 or 5k. And this is one of those guys that I'd recommend just having around, just in case we get like an Amethyst or below challenge. He's one of the better sniper shooting guards at the Amethyst tier. So is Brown still cheap? I mean, if you like LeBron a lot, it's not a terrible idea to pay 1,500 MT for this guy. I recommend everybody buy LaFonso Ellis. He's absolutely one of the best Ruby forwards in the entire game. Put a couple badges on him. He's absolutely incredible. Is Giannis still expensive? Yeah, don't buy this card. Bol. He's so expensive, though, and that's what sucks, but he is going to be an absolute god in, like, Triple Threat Online. And for lower overall, kind of, not even for lower overall cheesing, but, like, limited runs, just trying to keep a low overall in Unlimited and stuff like that. He's going to be an absolute god for that, so it just depends what you really need. If you're trying to use him on your main team, I think there's better options for his price that you could use. But if you have specific uses for him, like, obviously Triple Threat Online, lower overall stuff on like Unlimited and Limited, then I think he's probably worth the price in that regard, just because there's not many guys at the Ruby tier that can do what he does. It just depends what you need him for, man. Like, obviously, if you're going to buy this card for 18k and then use him twice, it's not worth it. But if you're going to buy this card for 15 to 18k and then use him all the time for various things, then it's probably worth that price. Just a cost-benefit analysis. Now, these guys. Derrick Rose, not worth the price. I can tell you that right now. Himself, the card, I'm not going to say he's worth the price, but I understand why he's so expensive. But just the one thing to keep in mind is, like, A, everyone's going to be able to get Dwayne Wade at some point, who's a better point guard. Baron Davis is going to be another option that we're going to be getting at the end of the season as well, who's probably, if not going to be a little bit better than Derrick Rose, a little bit worse, or just the same level, just better at different things. I'm guaranteeing they release a couple more point guards this season, just because they are making up for the fact that in Season 2 they released like 4 point guards that were like usable. So I think Derrick Rose is really good. Don't get me wrong. He's a great card. He's probably the best point guard we have currently right now in the game. I don't think he's that much better than Stockton personally, but he is better. I think he's tied with the fastest. He has like a 97 speed. He's just not worth the price. We're getting better point guards. We got opals and stuff coming. There's no point in paying that much for a pink diamond. Now, as far as defensive centers, Hakeem Olajuwon is one of the best defensive centers in the game. Not even just for his badges and stuff like that, but the Hakeem animations are so good, man. Like, so incredibly good. I cannot recommend high enough to go grab this guy for 60k. Like, I sold mine for, 80? And I'm just waiting for his price to come down a little bit more before I go and grab him again. Just so my profit's a little bit higher, but highly recommend it, man. He's really, really good. If you already have Mo Lucas, like, Hakeem's not that necessary, but he is legitimately one of the best defensive centers in the game. Adding a couple badges to him, he already has that gold catch and shoot, and he can step out and hit threes with a 77-3 too. So, popping a shoe on him, having a floor general out there, he'll be able to hit him. This is another card I recommend literally everybody buy. Sean Kemp. Let me go see exactly how low he's going for. because this card is absolutely incredible. Like, he's legitimately better than the Diamond Chris Webber we got at the beginning of the year. Like, they play very similarly, but he's a significantly better version of that card. And he's going for, is he going for under 10K? Under 7, huh? Anyways, he's going for like 4 or 5, I think. That's crazy. Yeah, wow, he's super cheap. Yeah, so you're gonna be able to get him around 5K. Yeah, not 3,500. I was reaching on that one, but roughly about 5K is what you're gonna be able to get him for. So I don't think there's anyone in this game that couldn't pick this guy up for 5K and have him be useful. He's really, really good. He's fast. He shoots the 3. He can handle the ball. He dunks really hard. He plays good defense. He's got okay size for the power forward. Don't let the picture fool you. Like, this isn't the crusty Sean Kemp. Like, this is spry, athletic Sean Kemp hidden underneath this old man interior. He's so good. Exterior, I should say. But Sean Kemp is absolutely absurd. I was using him last night for like the first time, and I was like, wow. I didn't even think to use him because Sean Kemp's never really great in game, but yeah, no, this one is. This is a different beast right here. Hito Turkoglu is really good for around 5K too. He's probably one of the best budget pretty much snipers that you can get. Plus, don't sleep on his speed. He's actually really fast at 6'10". He can move, man. He can shoot. He can facilitate. He's really good. Patrick Ewing's a great defensive card. Obviously, if you don't have enough money to grab Hakeem, Ewing's not terrible. Gary Payton is actually a really good Ruby point guard, and as far as defensively, he's probably the best Ruby point guard in this game. Plus, he can facilitate, shoot a little bit. He can run rim a tiny bit, too. He's really good. He's not that much worse than the Diamond Gary Payton we got earlier this year. Obviously, that one's better, but, like, he's not that much worse. And I don't know how much the Diamond Gary Payton would be to lock in at this stage in the game, but I know that this Gary Payton Ruby over here is, like, 900 MT. So I highly recommend going to pick him up. Like, I'm not even kidding. He's so good, man. Other than that, I don't really think there's too many other guys that are really game changers at the budget level. I don't recommend selling any of the budget guys I just talked about yet. If you do have extras, I would probably hold on to them for a little bit. I don't think their price is going to skyrocket exponentially, but I think it does go down. I am going to make a video on badges and stuff like that as far as like when to sell them. Pretty soon. I'll probably do a coach video when I got a chance to. I just had a lot of busy. When it comes to Allen Iverson and Tracy McGrady, they're great Sapphire options. I highly recommend everybody have these two cards just for a Sapphire and Under style challenge that we might have, man. They're going to be really good. I did want to talk about the possessed Tracy McGrady because I think as much as this hurts me to say, it's probably time to sell possessed T-Mac. With all the opals and stuff coming out, I just don't think that it's worth having 150k MT locked in with T-Mac. Donovan Mitchell is another guy. I think his price is going to fall quite a bit here soon. And that has a lot to do with De'Aaron Fox, just because he's another budget point guard option that a lot of people will be buying. So I think Donovan Mitchell's price goes down pretty soon. Plus, people just constantly pull those cards because of possessed reward packs. So these guys surprisingly haven't really gone down. I'm kind of surprised about that. But either way, I hope these market tips kind of helped you guys out at all. Stay tuned, man. I'll be back with new content every single day, literally daily. Check out all my stuff in the description if you want to listen to the podcast, you want to follow me on Twitter, you want to donate to the Patreon, help me out. All that stuff's in the description, and I'll be back, obviously, all week long, every single day with new content. If you have any questions, man, you can always comment on the video, say what's up. Obviously, if you're new, subscribe, man. I do this a lot. But good luck, man. I would save a lot of your MT, not open these packs, and kind of get prepped for what we're going to be getting. We are going to get the final idol set in the next couple weeks, so it's going to be interesting.